All right, guys. So I'm sure, as you are aware, we are truly in insane, unprecedented, one of a kind times right now. We are in the middle of the biggest CS market crash ever. We have lost around $3 billion in market cap. Now, I don't know if that's 100% sure the biggest percentage crash of all time. It's probably close or whatever. I don't know, especially in the early days when the market cap was low or whatever. It's possible things were different. I don't know. But 3 billion, that number right there is assuredly the biggest CS market crash ever. Throughout much of the CS history, there wasn't even $3 billion in market cap to lose. And I know that right now, people are stressed. People are depressed. People are anxious. People are not taking care of themselves. People are having horrible thoughts. People are doing horrible things. There is so much despair, panic, negativity, everything going on. So in this video today, I wanted to sit down and try to have a relaxing, level-headed conversation about all of this, because I think it is genuinely what I would want and need for myself right now, and what I think a lot of you out there will genuinely want and need right now as well. Things are obviously bad. You are obviously going to lose money. There's almost no way to not lose money right now, but I still think there are some things that can be done and some things that need to be said and heard during an absolutely insane, tragic, stressful time like this right now. But of course, first, I did just want to mention that during all of this craziness, I have started streaming over on Twitch a little bit more. I would absolutely appreciate it. It would mean the world to me if you guys went and checked it out. It's going to be linked in the description below. It's twitch.tv/I_am_germ. I'm going to be streaming, a lot. It's been fun. It's been exciting. It's a cool way to hang out. Like I said, all of us are in this together right now. So if you do want to check us out, come drop a follow over there so you can know whenever we're going live. You have primes, anything like that. We would always appreciate that. But we're definitely going to be hanging out, talking all about the CS market craziness. And just trying to get through this all together. Now, I will say that I know for sure in the markets, in life, in everything, I am one of the most optimistic people out there. And that right now has led me to, losing a little bit of money, because when these things started crashing off the initial 50% drop of this, I will say, so far I have been very, very, very lucky. When all of this stuff started happening, even though it seems like, I'm a big CS investor, I have a huge inventory, I'm going to be fucked, whatever. Truly, I've always told people I do not invest in golds. I've never thought high tier items or golds or whatever were the best investments. Yes, some of those items were very cool. Some of those were awesome collection items. Some of those were, insane play skins or whatever. But I was never really about play skins. I was never really about, high tier collections or whatever. I was always about, hey, I'm in this to try and make the most money possible. And when I wanted to make the most money possible, I wanted to be invested in the best investment grade stuff. I wanted to be in the S+ tier investments of the CS2 world. That's for a couple reasons. One, because that stuff was going to have the best price appreciation, but also the best items also during times like this drop the least. So truly 90% plus, maybe 95% plus of my inventory and my portfolio and collection, everything has been cases and cheap rare cases and discontinued cases and stuff like that. And yes, cases have dropped. Let's not pretend like cases haven't dropped or anything like that, but cases are, especially some cases, are holding up a hell of a lot better than many other things in the market right now. And I was holding very, very, very few golds, and some of the golds that I did hold, I was able to sell off on that very first day that the update came out. And so far, those trades haven't been reversed or, canceled or anything like that. I did end up losing money on some deals, whatever. But again, I am somebody that's optimistic. I'm somebody who thought, when people are panicking, when all this stuff's dropping, I'm going to buy the dip because I think people are overreacting. And I still genuinely do think that, especially now as the market goes lower and lower and lower, that people are overreacting a little bit. And I genuinely do believe that people who are buying the dip during this market crash. Now, this market crash is not over, and we don't know when it's going to be over. This market crash could last weeks, could last months. This could last years. This could take an insane amount of time to get through. Don't even think about when we're getting back to all-time highs. Just think of when things are going to stop free falling. Think when things are going to hit a decline. Think when things are finally going to hit the very, 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 very bottom of this all. It could take an insane amount of time. Now, I did want to say, I was around during 2017, during this Bitcoin crash that holds a lot of similarities to what is going on in CS right now. Obviously, nothing is one-to-one. Nothing is exactly the same. But Bitcoin, at the beginning of 2017, Bitcoin, this is crazy. Bitcoin was $800 in January of 2017. And we saw this insane run up where it ran all the way up to, again, in December of 2017, $19,000, call it $20,000. It more than 20x'd over the course of 2017. Now, from December 2017 until December, call it January of 2019, the bottom around here was somewhere around $2,000 in the winter of 2018 into 2019. So again, we lost 90% during that time. And it also took, an entire year for the market to stop going down. But then obviously, eventually, after an entire year of going lower and lower and lower and lower and lower, again, we were at 20K. Once it started dipping, people bought at 15K. They thought they were buying the dip. People bought at 10K. They thought they were buying the dip. People bought at 5K. They thought they were buying the dip. And again, from 5K, it went all the way down to 2,000. So even people who bought at 5,000, which was a 75% discount from all-time highs, those people were even still down 50 to 60% at the bottom of the market. That's insane. Again, eventually things recovered. Now, obviously, it took for things to get back to 20,000, it wasn't again until, 2020? So it took almost 3 entire years to get back to those all-time highs. But again, it obviously did get back to the all-time highs. And anyone who bought the dip, even at 15K, even at 10K, even at 5K, even at 2K, whatever, is now up insane amounts. And we currently sit at a Bitcoin price of 110,000. Now, you can say that this CS stuff is different. And in some ways, like I said, it is different. But during that Bitcoin crash and during all market crashes, some people were saying a lot of the same things. Right now, you hear people saying, oh, we've lost all trust in Valve. We are never coming back to the CS markets. Fuck this, whatever. And guess what? People in Bitcoin, people in crypto said those same things. People said, hey, we are never coming back to the crypto markets. You cannot trust Bitcoin. I am never going to invest in something that, is one, it's just, you're selling to the greater fool. It has no real world value. All you do, if you can lose 90%, then this is stupid, whatever. But all those people have come back and more. And again, people who bought the dip, they ended up getting rich. Now, it took a long time. And people who bought the dip, it dipped. And people who bought the dip, it dipped. And people who bought the dip, it dipped on them again. And during so many times, there was panic, despair, panic selling, whatever. So if you want to leave the CS markets altogether, I do not blame you. Do whatever the hell you want. It is your money. It is your life. Do whatever you got to do. But you shouldn't really even be here on this video. If you want to go do other things with your life or with your money, whatever, that's fine. Go do that. Go live your life. Go invest in stocks. Go invest in crypto. Go invest in Pokemon. Go, stop investing altogether, whatever. Grind out your job, whatever. I don't know. I don't care. I truly wish the best for you. And maybe you're right. Maybe CS is dead. Maybe we should get all out of CS. Maybe, I should stop making videos. I should stop putting money in the markets. I should stop doing all this stuff, whatever. I don't know. But I do think, and from what I have seen in market crashes and stuff like this, eventually we're going to find a bottom. And right now, there is so much despair, so much fear, so much panicking. And from what I have always seen, that means we are closer to a bottom than a top. I mean, there are truly some insane things going on in the market right now. Like I said, you can find gloves for as cheap as $34 on Buff. You can find knives for as cheap as $39. There is people quick selling Dragon Lores. Dragon Lores, what do Dragon Lores have to do with this update at all? You can trade up coverts to knives, so I'm going to quick sell my Dragon Lore at a 60% loss. To me, that doesn't make sense. Irrational things are going on, and when markets are up, people act irrationally positive and people do stupid things and people are overinvested and whatever. And when things go down, people are irrationally negative. And like I said, I didn't ever think that, we were going to see a 50% drop in this market in 48 hours. But there is a lot of crazy things going on right now. And I know there's a lot of people saying, hey, we're going to see an influx of new golds in the market in 5 or 6 or 7 days or whatever, whenever the stuff starts coming off trade hold. But I will also need to remind you guys that you have to keep in mind, also, this 7-day trade hold and the 8-day trade reverse period and stuff like that is also contributing to this drop. There is so much funds being held up. Think of all the people who panic sold the first day, the second day, the third day, whatever. All of that funds and all of that money, people can't even buy the dip with that right now. There is money tied up on CS Float, and there's money tied up in cash trades, and there's money tied up on all these different sites and stuff like that. Like, I can go to my CS Float, just for example, and show you guys that I have $6,000 in funds tied up. I don't even know when this pending balance is going to run out necessarily. Some of it, is going to be trickling in over the next couple of days, whatever. But imagine how many other people are in the markets right now with pending balance that while gold supply is going to be increasing, over the next couple weeks and months and whatever, yeah, sure. But also balance is going to be coming back to the market in huge ways. There's going to be, millions of dollars in balance that is coming back to the markets. And there's going to be people who see their dream knife, their dream loadout, their dream combo is down 50, 60, 70, 80%. I can already see people talking about buying the dip and stuff like that right now. And that's going to happen eventually. And like I said, I don't know when this dip is going to end. Are we going to go to $2.5 billion market cap? We're going to go to $2 billion market cap? Are we going to go $1 billion market cap? I don't know. It's impossible to tell exactly when the bottom is, but eventually we are going to hit some bottom. Eventually, things are going to bounce back. And, hey, what's done is done. Like I said, we're not going to snap our fingers and go back to a $6 billion market cap. You're not going to snap your fingers and have your inventory go back up to the prices that they were before. But eventually, over time, I do think things are slowly going to rebuild. So for the time being, you need to prepare and you need to take care of yourself. Obviously, life goes on. Money is important. Money is great. Money gives you, freedom, opportunities, all that great stuff. But like I said, your money that you've lost maybe over the last couple of days, it's not going to magically come back. So you can panic sell, you can leave the markets, whatever, or you can go outside. You can hang out with your friends and family. You can hang out with your girlfriend. You can go back to work. You can, keep grinding. You can go to the gym. You can take care of yourself. You can get some rest. You can eat good. Like these last couple of days have been insanely stressful. I haven't been eating good. I haven't been sleeping good. I need to take care of myself. Life goes on. Money you can make back. Money comes and goes. But you need to stop checking the prices every hour. You need to stop checking the price every half hour. You need to close CS. You need to close Twitter. You need to close Price Empire, whatever, because people are going to be glued to their screens and it's not good for you. It is stressful. It is crazy, whatever. And it's also not going to change anything. You need to make decisions of what you're doing. Are you going to buy the dip? Are you going to hold? Are you going to sell? And then you need to live with it. You need to go away because, again, it has only been like 2 or 3 days. And you got to think, especially with 8-day trade holds and waiting periods and all that stuff, there's nothing we can do. I've decided to buy some stuff. It's going down. There's nothing I can do. That stuff, I can't even do anything until like 6 or 7 days from now. There's stuff in my inventory that's crashing. There's stuff that I would love to buy the dip on, whatever. But one, I only have finite amounts of money. And again, some of my balance is tied up. Like there's only so much stuff we can do. But also, during a market crash, one of the best things you can possibly do is reevaluate your holdings, reevaluate your portfolio, and reallocate. Because again, the best items, the S plus tier investments of the CS2 world, they are the things that will hold up the best during a crash. They are the things that will crash the least. They are the stuff that will rebound the fastest, and they are the stuff that will rebound the most aggressively as well. So you need to think to yourself, one, there are a couple of different questions. One, have you been investing more money than you can afford to lose? If right now, if you are panicking, if you are depressed, if you are, having to panic sell, if you are needing money to pay bills or pay rent or eat or whatever, you have been overinvested and you need to, invest amounts of money that you can afford to have in the market so you can afford to hang on to during dips. But you also need to reevaluate what you've been buying. Have you been buying stupid stuff? Have you been FOMOing into items that are overpriced and pumped to the moon? Or are you truly invested in the best items in the market? Are you truly invested in the S plus tier investments of the CS2 world? Now, again, I can confidently say I have some items that I am not thinking about selling at all, that I'm fine with holding no matter where this market goes for the next 5 years. My cheap rare cases, my discontinued cases, things that I've bought at amazing prices over the past couple of years. Because that's the other thing to keep in mind as well. Again, once we start to zoom out a little bit, yes, things are absolutely insane right now. But the $3 billion market cap, I think we're close to where we were. We're below where we were in the peak CS2 hype right now. We can zoom out and see that we were below a $3 billion market cap, in 2024. In April of 2024, we were only at $2.8 billion. So, we're going to prices that we saw a year ago or a year and a half ago or something like that. Yes, we've been on an insane bull run and we've gone to the moon in a million different ways, but these people who claim that they're leaving the CS market, these people that claim that they're never coming back, these are the people who you hear about. These are the people who buy high and sell low. These are the people who bought in at the $6 billion market cap and are now selling at the $3 billion market cap. That is backwards. That is not how you make money. That is not how you invest. That is not how this thing is done. Again, you are supposed to buy low and sell high. Now, there is also some very, very good, adages in investing, stuff like you would rather be late than wrong. And maybe that is something I should have followed a little bit better. Maybe I started buying the dip a little bit too early. Yes, maybe I was catching a falling knife. Maybe I got a little bit excited. Maybe I got a little bit too aggressive. Maybe I got a little bit too greedy, because the last couple of crashes, I have, sat on the sidelines. I have waited to see how things were going to play out. And during that time, people were buying the dip and they ended up, making tons of money. So this time I was like, hey, I'm not going to sit out this dip. I'm going to get aggressive. I'm going to deploy a lot of cash and capital. And so far I've been getting burned, but we'll have to see how that plays out. And some of the stuff I'm getting burned on, I might have to hold it for a couple of weeks or a couple of months or a couple of years, or I don't know. But I do still think that if I'm buying some genuinely very, very good assets and some of the very, very best CS2 items, that CS will be okay. Things are changing. Things are never going to be the same. Things are never going to go back to the way it was. But if Counter-Strike continues to have the insane player base, 1 million daily active players, close to 2 million peak players at peak times, skins will continue to be cool. Skins will continue to have value. It's going to be different skins. They're going to have different values. They're going to have different ratios. They're going to be compared to each other in different ways. Valve is going to change systems. They're never going to go back to the way they were. But eventually we will hit a bottom. Eventually things will start going back up again. And I'm very, very confident that, again, some people buying some items during this dip will end up making a ton of money. It might take weeks, it might take months, it might take years, but I think right now, like I said, we are closer to the bottom of the top, and I think buying at the bottom makes a hell of a lot more sense than selling at the bottom. So I know it's a crazy, stressful, insane time, but take care of yourself, make smart decisions, reallocate to the best possible things that you believe in the most. Don't invest more money than you can afford to have in the markets, and don't do anything stupid. And I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how long it's going to take. I don't know what the heck's going to go from here. But life goes on. The CS markets will go on. There will continue to be ways to make money. There will be continue to be, things that rise in prices. And we're all going to lose some money right now. Like I said, we're all going to lose. I'm going to lose thousands of dollars during this period. But I think there'll be some opportunities to make it back, and I think we're all going to be okay. And I think that's what people need to hear right now. There's all, people going insane and being sensationalized and all that stuff, and I get it. It's a crazy time, but I'm going to try to be the voice of reason. I'm going to try to be, some comfort and compassion during a time like this as well, because I think that's what people need, and we'll have to see what happens from here. I don't know. Pretty much it was video today, guys. Hopefully you appreciated it. Maybe you learned something from this video. Maybe you feel a little bit better after watching this video. I don't know. Maybe you think I'm an idiot. That's fine too. Catch you guys in the next one. Until then, peace.